Hello friends, welcome back to Dark Souls. I'm not going to record the rest of the series in 60 FPS because for some reason, specifically DS Fix is not being cooperative today. I don't know why, but I'm not going to really argue with it. The game plays fine in 30. It's weird though, if I use something to grab the DirectX hook, like DX Story, a video editing or a video capturing program, or Fraps or whatever else you might use, Bandicam, it'll actually jump up to 60. It'll show that the frame rate is at 60 and it'll jump up that high, but as soon as you close any of those applications and the game is just running on its own, it falls back down to 30. And to be completely honest, I'm not worried about it enough to do anything to fix it. 30 is fine for these kinds of games. There's really not that much in the way of input lag that you have to worry about. And oh yeah, I completely forgot. I haven't killed the channeler yet. Whoops daisies. We gotta go do that. Because I died the last time we were here. Now I remember. Don't you eat the Estus. Eat more Estus, I dare you. I thought he had his shield up. This place is actually kind of cool. The Undead Chapel. It's kind of like the end of the tutorial level. I mean, obviously. Okay. That was a mistake. You've got the literal tutorial level that is the Undead Asylum. But then you've also kind of got the entirety of Undead Burg, which is the... Your training wheels are off now, but not entirely, because it's still easy enemies, and you're getting to know how the game works. Learning that you won't die unfairly, but you will die if you don't pay attention to what you're supposed to be doing. So... Like, right there, I shouldn't be being any damage, but I am being damaged, because I'm an idiot. Idiot. And now we will go have fun with the channeler. It kind of sucks. There's only 2 channelers before you actually get to Duke's Archives, which is kind of cool. You son of a bitch. You... Yes. I wasn't aware. Normally I end up killing him a lot quicker than that. Usually don't give him the option to jump down. But I suppose it kind of makes sense. He'd have the AI to jump down and have the Boulder Knights help him. And now he's trying to shoot me through walls. He's the smartest and the brightest of the bunch. Isn't he? Nighty-night. Ragdoll! It's my favorite physics. We picked up a mystery key earlier. Yeah. There's a wall that gets broken down. It's great. You pick up the mystery key. Either that or the master key will allow you to help out Mr. Gold-Plated Breasts Man.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
It's kind of cool you actually use whatever the key is if you don't have the... Whatever it is, it'll prioritize over top of the master key.
Thank you. Yes. Sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Kind of hard to see it now, but he's got kind of arms across his armor there. That's supposed to represent, like, being embraced by the goddess.
Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time.
You know, he doesn't really seem like that bad of a guy in his character model. I mean, he almost seems like he could be a good guy, but his voice actor does a bang-up job of kind of giving you the impression that he's actually an asshole. Realistically, he's just like all the rest of us hollows. I mean, even the Crestfallen Warrior at the beginning. I wouldn't pillage another healthy human for their humanity. No, 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 not me. Don't you dare kill me. I will be very upset with you. I would like to summon everyone I can, which means fighting through all of those hollows again. Okay, the channeler decided he wanted to come play. Sup? How's it going? Just kind of hanging out there. Look at your face. You got like a little mustache going on. Kind of a couple noses. Hello. Oh, I mean, if that's how you feel. Wow, you're really good at this game, aren't you? Do that thing where I stab you in the back. If there's one lesson to be had, it's that the AI in this game, you can take advantage of it rather well. It's not the smartest thing in the world. Alright, if you're careful here and don't do what I just did, then you can aggro the Boulder Knight that's kind of hanging out in the corner back there before you aggro the one that's closest. So you can fight him. And then aggro the second one, then aggro the third. Which is really good if you want to farm any of their equipment. Those boulder shields are very enjoyable weapons. Shields, let's try that again. One more time. Okay, thank God I got the parry on. Okay, that's fine. I'll take it. Nighty-night. They tend to drop Titanite chunks, so you could farm a couple of those. Nice. Titanite shards, sorry. Titanite shards. So you can farm a couple of those in the process of trying to get a Boulder Side Sword. If you were so inclined. I love the flooping noise. And out here is a very important item. The only way to get down to Lower Undeadburg, not the Halberd, and progress without taking the Master Key shortcut. We take a nap. Wow. It's the basement key, which is used on the other side of the bridge where the Drake blew fire at us. Let's open up the shortcut here. What we use that for is to get down to Lower Undeadburg so we can fight the Capra Demon and then progress our way onwards to the depths so we can make it to Undeadburg, so we can go down to Blighttown, so we can continue on in the game and find the second bell and beat the first half. That's the first half. All of that, just for the first half. Nighty-night. I am going to do something here. Specifically because not very many people do it, and I want to show that it's something that can be done. After you free Lautrec, the golden armored guy from a cell there, if you head back down to Firelink Shrine, and we may have to close down and reload the game. If you head back down to Firelink Shrine, you can talk to him, and he'll give you his reward, which is kind of dinky. And you'll have two options at that point. You can either try to kill him and pick up the Ring of Favor and Protection, which this early on in the game is a very useful item. And if you have no intention of doing his little side quest, then you probably should kill him. He also, if you don't kill him, will kill the Firekeeper here. And there is a Firekeeper. We haven't been able to talk to her yet. I did that to see if it'll actually cause him. Yeah, there he is. There's Lautrec. See, he's hanging out here staring at the Firekeeper. And eventually he'll kill her and steal her soul. And as we've seen, Firekeeper souls are relatively useful in this game. And we can actually go and take it back. And the questline is to chase him down, invade him as an NPC, kind of like emulating PvP, give you a taste of it without actually having an online connection. And then return the Firekeeper soul to the Firekeeper to turn Firelink back on. Which inadvertently restores her tongue, so she can actually talk to you. Yeah, she has her tongue cut out. I think she did it to herself. She feels unclean, and this is her duty, making up for that. So anyway, you talk to him, you'll get your reward, air quotes.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
Thank you. This is an interesting glitch. Yes, hello. How are you doing today? I am fine. Well, that is great, isn't it? I have binoculars. So do I. Wow, that was...
I'm grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
That's a long-ass evil laugh. So at that point...
By the Lords, your face. Your humanity is really slipping, but there are methods. Most fools have more humanity than they know what to do with. Now, who do you imagine will make the best use of it? I
think he's sort of hinting at the fact that he's feels he's greater, he's indebted, and that he deserves humanity, that he's going to steal from the Firekeeper and other people.
You again. What is it? Our futures are murky. Let's not be too friendly now.
Yeah, you can see the arms resting over top of him there. Anything else? No, that's it. So, again, there's two things you can do here. As they've done, they've conveniently placed him at a drop-off right there, where, as you've seen before, there... Okay, would you... That's not good. I guess I'm just going to have to show you. Yep. There's an option to, Whoops-a-daisies. That's why I took my weapon off. Kick. Okay, you? Get... Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Am I going to have to homeward bone it out of here? This is interesting. Alright, we've run into a glitch. I love it. We're gonna homeward bone. Anyway, if you knee kick him, if you kick him away from the other side, he will fall off the edge. I mean, you gotta kick him a couple times, but he won't aggro because you're only kicking him, which is it's primarily used for combat for knocking people out of their shields because it doesn't do much damage, but it doesn't do any damage, but it does a shit ton of stamina damage. So, stability damage basically. Which is what kicking is for, primarily. Breaking people's blocked shields. But that's really more PvE. The other option is to let him stay. He'll kill the Firekeeper, and you'll have the option of killing him later in the game. But unfortunately, if you kill a Firekeeper, as we'll see here momentarily, well, a little bit later into the game, any Firekeeper who's an actual NPC that you can interact with, you can kill. And if you kill them, then the bonfire that they are protecting, that they are keeping lit, will unlight. And you won't be able to light it again until you either start New Game Plus or, in that case, return the Firekeeper soul to revive them. The unfortunate side effect of that is you will have to go through New Game Plus in order to get your Estus Flask upgraded all the way to +7. Which is, yeah, it's tolerable. Otherwise, you'd have to kill all the Firekeepers. I think the highest you can get is +6, because you have to have a Firekeeper alive in order to... I don't think you can parry heavy attacks. Okay. You have to keep a Firekeeper alive in order to, you know, cash in on them to upgrade your Estus Flask. So +6 is as high as you can go. And which is also the reason the lore... Okay, I forgot. The lore reason. And I have no stability. Poise, that one. 4 people are dead because of me. The lore reason why those bonfires naturally have a +5 Estus restoration ability, as opposed to only a +10, as opposed to only a +5. And you can actually kindle the bonfires by burning humanity at them, which raises interesting questions about the lore. I mean, the fact that the bonfires themselves burn off of the undead bones, and also the fact that if you burn humanity inside of them, if you kindle them, they will burn brighter. You can gather more Estus from them. You can get them up to a max 20 after you get the right of kindling, which is, I think, more just not really a magical ability or permission, but knowledge about how to kindle. So as you can see here, you can summon Lautrec. If you free him from the cage and go and talk to him at Firelink, he'll be available to summon here. And on top of that, we have Solaire. Yeah, I didn't notice. Was Lautrec's... I think his summon sign was kind of golden. Although maybe that's just because of the fact that he's wearing ridiculously golden armor. Also, I want to point out, as Solaire gets summoned here, he praises the sun. On top of the fact that he's praising the sun, he, if you join the Covenant, the Sunlight Blade Covenant, at least I think that's the same. Great, just clip into each other, that's fine, I don't care. When you get summoned, you'll do the Praise the Sun animation too. And we will most definitely go and join the Covenant, almost explicitly, so that we can get the Praise the Sun. Because we're not going to be using Faith, which is what the lightning rewards scale off of. What a great way to store that scythe, huh? So here's our first real boss battle. Yeah, you missed. 3 things? 3? Yeah? Is that how you feel? I want to cut off his tail. His tail is a really stupid weapon, but you always got to cut off the tails. Really, come on. You missed. Would you mind? He's going to die before I get a chance. I don't even have anything to talk about. He's going to die so quick. And I'm going to die. Guys, don't kill the bell gargoyle. And Solaire, don't you fall off. That pisses me off. Son of a bitch. No, the tail! The tail! I give up. That's it, my life is over. I'm a failure. Yeah, Lautrec. Go get him, buddy. Holy shit. So as you can see, Lautrec's, he's kind of a badass. Thanks, boys. You're rewarded for co-oping. Although we got humanities there. I wonder if that was for summoning Lautrec. Probably was. Weird. Remember how we're up on top of a mountain? This is the forest down below, and it's on the edge of a rocky cliff face, which you can kind of sort of see down here. The basin that goes out, but there's so many clouds as it continues. You can't even see, and it just kind of blends into the horizon going on forever. That is really cool the way that works. So yeah, as we'll find out later. What is that place over there? Oh, is that the wall that goes to Sand Fortress? No, that's the wall that was guarding down here that we came up on, isn't it? I think. It doesn't really explain anything. And you can hear wind and shit up here too. We end up making it over to the forest. And you can kind of walk up to the edge. I don't think over there specifically. I've always been interested. There are maps that you can download, and I forget exactly what they're called, but there's these 3D rendered maps that you can move around and manipulate and turn on and off certain areas. And take notice that there's no one down here right now. God, it always freaks me out. You can manipulate them, move them around and stuff. And it's always really cool to see how everything loops together, especially in this game. Dark Souls, I think, more than anything else. Bloodborne, a little bit. But you can kind of see how well they made the level design work so that there isn't really much impossible space. There's an instance of, in Dark Souls 2, where you ride up an elevator for a while and then come up just above a pool of lava. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And there's the first bell of lore. Legend. Undead. Ringeth. Yeah, Sense Fortress in the back there. That's interesting. We're just as high as Sense Fortress right now. You can see it. No, it's a little bit higher than us right now, isn't it? That's really cool. You can actually see the architecture in places where you end up. I think you can travel out there. Can't see the giant, but there's a giant that sits right up there on top that will pull the chain later to open up the door. And as you can see, there used to be an entryway right there in the middle that goes into Anor Londo. But that's boarded up. So how are we gonna, as the chosen undead, make it into Anor Londo? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Alrighty then. So let's go down the elevator here. This is totally an elevator. I don't want to go down the fast way, because if we do, we might fall off into the oblivion, and that doesn't sound like fun. So here's interesting Asshat McGee, follower of Velka the Goddess, pardoner of sin.
Greetings.
Yes. His skin is green. Very interesting. I think you can get that set, the Velka set. I don't think you can buy it from him. I love it. I mean, he's holding his hands out, so maybe that's how you learn the gesture. But it's literally just like a shrug. Well, what do you want from me? Abandoned Covenant? Now, the way that it works, covenants in this game, the only way to not accrue any kind of sin from that covenant, have them hate you, is to come up here and abandon it with him. Because for some reason, that's the proper way to do it, and he can prevent them from being pissed off about it. He sells the purging stones for 3,000 a chunk, and I think he only has like 4 of them, which is really interesting. There's a curse mechanic in this game. We'll get to it later, but the ash-colored stone encasing a skull, the secret treasure of Arstor, the Arl of Cream, Arl, how do you pronounce that? Reduces curse buildup, and it breaks curses. Humans are helpless against curses, and can only redirect their influence. The purging stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. So it's literally just a petrified skull that absorbs the curse, which is really cool. He's got indictments, which you can use to enhance. You basically, you say that a player has sinned if they invade you, which allows you to invade as a righteous spirit later on. Instead of just a vengeful red spirit, you invade as a righteous blue one, which is kind of interesting things. Homeward Bones, a Book of the Guilty, which kind of is like an online letterboard thing that shows who's on the sin list. Karmic Justice is kind of a stupid spell. For each sin, there is a punishment, and is the task of Goddess Velka to define the sin and mete out the punishment. It's basically like a focus... No, not a focus punch. I'm trying to think of the equivalent Pokemon move. It's a spell that lasts for a short period of time that will cause an area of effect explosion based off of how much damage you receive in that period of time. So it's really good for kind of just throwing it on and going all-out combat, and then having it explode, and that wins you the fight. And then a Talisman, which is the catalyst for casting miracles. But the really cool thing about Velka's Talisman, it scales with intelligence instead of faith. So you can have just enough faith to put on a miracle, but cast it and have its effects boosted from your intelligence stat. So you can be a mage character that casts miracles, which is kind of cool. And he sells a bleed and poison resistance rings, as well as rings of sacrifice, which are cool things. And you can't even talk to him.
Thou art welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
I love that. He's so straightforward and pompous the entire time you're talking to him, and then he gets to the end. It's just a cackle. It's great. Following him... Oh, and also the request absolution. You pay a certain number of souls based off of the sin that you committed. Let's say you hit an NPC and they're pissed off. You actually reset that NPC by requesting absolution, which is a very convenient thing in this game. Because there are some NPCs, like let's say the blacksmith down there, Andre. If you punched him in the face, did enough damage, he'd aggro on you, and you wouldn't have that blacksmith anymore. And he's necessary, because he gets your weapons up to plus 10 and plus 15. You can't do that on your own. You have to go to him to do it. And if he's aggroed, you're kind of fucked. Or, no, maybe he's not the plus 15 guy. Maybe it's the giant. I don't remember. I guess I'll get to that point when I get to it. What do we want to do next? I'm not quite sure I remember. I'm thinking we work our way down to the depths. Yeah. I'll go show you that. We almost have enough souls to work our way into one of my favorite little places. We have to get the crest of Artorias so we can get into the forest. And there's the Artorias' Covenant back there, the Cat Covenant, which is a really nice PvP zone, if I do say so myself. But we can't actually go that way yet, so I suppose we'll work our way through the depths. I'm just kind of afraid of dying and losing my souls. I am not the best souls player in the game. But, you know what, I think we might be able to collect enough souls if we go down there and collect a couple things first. Although this episode is going to have to end here pretty quick, because I got work to go to. Yay, I'm so happy. You know what, I think we made a decent amount of progress, talked about a couple of things. Getting my sea legs back again. It was fun. Yeah, let's save our souls for that later. Thanks for watching, friends. I hope to see you in the next episode. Have yourselves a good one.